Hello my wonderful, beautiful friends, guys. Welcome back to r/EntitledPeople, where people truly believe that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, because they're special in their own minds. And in today's episode, guys, OP's insane coworker thinks it's okay to just give away her baby to strangers. Because in her mind, OP doesn't deserve to have a family. Ain't that something? Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hit subscribe if you haven't, and as always, you can send or link your stories to this email right here. On this day, I went to the store to grab a few things. I was checking out. When a few registers over, the fun begins. Now, I didn't hear exactly what set the Karen off, but she was yelling and screaming at this poor worker, calling her useless, lazy, and just acting like the poor girl had kicked a bag of puppies off a cliff. The poor employee was probably still in high school, maybe 5 feet tall, and if she weighed over 90 pounds, I'd be shocked. The girl was also very Caucasian, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Karen's now throwing things at this poor girl, who's apologizing and trying not to cry, when all of a sudden our hero steps in. This beautiful, almost 6 foot tall, elderly woman of color comes up, and in the most terrifying mom voice that I've ever heard says, "Oh, hell no. Not today, Satan. I know this Karen's not over here messing with my niece." The woman then begins removing her earrings in the most dramatic way possible, looking like she's ready for battle. She then says, "I'm about to go to jail today. Lord, I hope somebody got some bail money because no one messes with my baby." At this point, the whole front end of the store is frozen. Karen looks around, sees no support, no manager, no police, as this woman is preparing to destroy her. The Karen actually apologizes to the woman for berating her niece. She then squeaks and runs out of the store as fast as she can, and the woman just bursts out laughing after. She then looks at the poor cashier and asked, "Baby, are you okay?" Now, I don't know what happened afterwards, and I hope she got a family discount because she's my hero. Guys, she's my hero too. Like, I don't know this random woman, but I freaking love her. And I feel like stores should hire people like this to be damage control against Karens, because what this random person did for the cashier was wonderful. And the funny thing is, even Karen knew not to mess with someone who's taking off their earrings and screaming about bail money. And guys, I've gone down the rabbit hole of street fight videos before, and I can tell you from what I've seen, when people start taking off things before stepping up to someone, oh my goodness, run, because they're freaking experienced and about to beat someone's butt. So I've been playing guitar for quite some time now, and I'm very passionate about it. During my years in college, I purchased a cheap old guitar from someone so I could just keep it and play it in my dorm room because I didn't want to bring my good guitars there. After finishing college, I moved back home, and the guitar starts gathering dust, and honestly, I really didn't want to put any more money and effort into maintaining it, so I decided to give it away. I made a post on Facebook Marketplace mentioning that the guitar is used, not new, and within some minutes, I was messaged by a guy who told me he was interested in getting the guitar for his daughter, who had just started learning. We agreed to meet at my place so they could pick it up. So the guy comes to my house along with his daughter, and I invite them inside and show them the guitar along with the cheap nylon bag it was in. When the guy first saw the guitar, I saw his face twist in disgust. He then says, "Oh, well, why are the strings so old in this? I thought they'd be newer." I say to him, "Yeah, it's been a while, and I haven't changed the strings. This is a guitar that I've used as my practice guitar for some time, and I just decided to give it away because I don't need it anymore." The guy then says, "Oh, that's not nice at all. I didn't think it would be so terrible in person. I'm not getting my daughter a guitar that looks like this. At least change the strings, polish it up, and clean the fretboard." I respond, the reason I'm giving it away is because I don't use the guitar anymore, and I don't want to put any more effort into maintaining it. I don't want it to gather dust and go to waste. If you want it, you can have it. And tell you what, if you go buy a new set of strings, I'll be more than happy to change them for free and also clean the fretboard for you. Hearing me tell him that, he says, "Buddy, I'm not paying for anything. You're the one that should be paying. I can't afford new strings now. I'm struggling, money's tight, and I don't have money to spend on these things." And that's when he sees one of my good guitars that's on a stand in the room, and he says, "What about this one? Are you giving away this one? It would be really nice to get a better looking one. We really need a new guitar." I tell him, "Yeah, I'm not giving that one away. That's my guitar that I use personally, and I'm not giving it away or selling it. If you can't pay for basic things such as strings, I really don't think you need a new guitar. And listen, this guitar is in good working condition. The strings it has on it still has life in them, so it'll be great for lessons and practice, especially for a beginner like your daughter. He then tells me, no, we're leaving. And I will report you for false advertising on Facebook. I hope you're happy. You ruined my daughter's dream of learning how to play a guitar. He then took his daughter and left. Now it's worth mentioning that his daughter was really happy to just have the guitar, and she was telling her dad that. I was about to give the guitar to her anyways, but her dad was pulling her away. She was blushing in embarrassment the entire time. Yeah, I'm almost at a loss for words, guys. Like, if a free guitar isn't good enough for him, then he doesn't deserve it. And I feel so bad for the daughter, guys. Like, she clearly wanted it, and she was in the same room with it. And dad sucks for wanting nothing less than a brand new one for his daughter. Oh my goodness. He's the one that's ruining his daughter's dream of playing guitar. So this person shares their experience as well with a choosing beggar and says, "This one's pretty old and honestly not that long, so I never bothered to share it. But I thought it was kind of funny, so hey. Back when I was in high school, my mom would always give me $4. We didn't have much money, but this was enough to get me a $1 slice of pizza at the nearby pizza place and a 50-cent can of soda at the grocery store across the street. Now, I was honestly pretty lucky to come across this, since even then, it was pretty rare to see such cheap options. So my plan was to get myself a pizza, get a soda, and also grab a can of soda for my girlfriend. And the same would be done on my way from school. But this time, after I got off the bus and was going to the pizza place, I got stopped by a woman. She was asking me for money to get herself some coffee at the grocery store, which at the time was like 50 cents to $1 at most. I decided to be nice, and I figured that I'd be alright without my soda money on my way home. But I knew I'd be starving after school, so I wasn't gonna give up my pizza money. So yeah, I give her 50 cents, and I'm thinking better than zero, right? Well, not for this woman. So after I hand her the 50 cents, she just looks at it, and with an attitude, she scoffs and said, "Ugh, that's it? You're giving me 50 cents? That's all you're giving me?" And here's the kicker. She just walks away with my 50 cents. Now, I was annoyed by that at the time, since I could have used that 50 cents for myself for a nice cold Pepsi. These days, I just laugh about it whenever it comes up. So yeah, there's nothing more entitled than a person who's super choosy when it comes to getting free things. And the next post in this episode, guys, is an r/am I the a-hole post, where OP has no idea that her post would backfire on her. Okay, so I'm currently 8 months pregnant, and because of that, I often get quite tired when I stand or walk for long periods of time. Yesterday afternoon, I was craving some ice cream, so I drove to a nearby shopping center to visit my favorite ice cream shop. Unfortunately, the place was quite crowded, and all the tables surrounding the shop, as well as the nearby mall sofas, were taken. Because of that, after getting my ice cream, I decided to sit on one of the 2 massage chairs that were close by, and eat my ice cream there. Once I start eating my snack, I was approached by a young couple. They asked me to get off the chair since I wasn't getting a massage and they wanted to get one together, which I refused to do. In return, I offered to leave once I finished eating, or told them if they can find me another place to sit, I would move, since I can't stand for more than a few minutes at a time, and had a large dessert I wanted to finish. Hearing me say that, the girl wasn't happy at all. She told me to stop acting as if I was ill, and just because I was pregnant, the world doesn't revolve around me, and because I wasn't paying for a massage, I had no right to sit on the chair. We went back and forth. And that's when they threatened security on me, and her partner walks off, and a few moments later, he comes back with security. The security guard took my side, and he asked the couple to take turns using the second massage chair, or wait for me to finish eating, which upset the girl quite a bit. I feel she was so entitled for not caring about a pregnant woman. She then accused me of being selfish and preventing the owners of the chair from earning money, and she left with her partner. I told this story to my sister, and she told me that I should have went to the ice cream stand when it was less crowded if I wasn't able to eat while standing. However, my older sister believes that I had every right to sit on the chair if all the other spots were taken, and the couple was being unreasonable, so am I the a-hole in this situation? Okay, so the original poster did delete this post, guys, after being voted the a-hole in this. I think what she failed to see though is that massage chairs in malls are businesses. Somebody put those chairs in with the goal of making money, and that person lost 2 customers that day because she refused to move, which 100% makes her the entitled a-hole in the situation. Before deleting the post, OP does post an update that says, okay, I can see that I'm indeed in the wrong. Next time a similar situation happens, I will just order the ice cream and eat inside of my car, instead of taking up spots owned by other businesses. So a little background. I'm a 22-year-old female, and I'm currently 8 months pregnant with my first child. My boyfriend is 31. I also work as a secretary in a hospital, second shift. I started working here when I was 19, so my coworkers are like family. When I was 4 months pregnant, I made the big announcement. All of my coworkers were happy for me, except for one woman who we'll call Karen. Now, Karen didn't say anything at the time, but after a while, I noticed that she started taking interest in my pregnancy. She starts being over-friendly with me, asking me about the baby, my health, my plans for the future, if I'm planning on more kids, getting married, etc. I told her that my boyfriend and I were getting married, and we were moving in together to be a family. And that's when she starts asking my opinions on adoption. Now, I thought it was a bit weird, but I told her if a couple can't conceive, adoption's a great option. She then said, no, that's not what she meant. She meant if I was open to giving up my baby for adoption. I then said, no, I would never adopt out my child. For a few weeks after that, she gave me the silent treatment. She starts talking to my coworkers, telling them that I'm irresponsible, that I'm not even married, that I shouldn't even be having kids before marriage, the works. Then, one night after visiting hours at the hospital, a couple shows up. They look to be in their 40s. I told them that visiting hours were over and they could see their family member tomorrow. And that's when the woman said, we're here to see you. We're so excited to meet you. Karen told us all about you and how you might be giving up your child for adoption in a few months. She told us that you wanted to meet, and we just want to get to know each other a bit before you finally make the big decision when you choose. So hopefully you'll consider us as potential parents. Hearing the woman say that, I was dumbfounded and shocked, until the woman tried to touch my 6-month pregnant belly. I then screamed so loud that all the nurses came running. The couple tried to explain to security, nurses, and me that their sister-in-law told them that I was a young unwed mother desperately looking to give up my baby for adoption. They told me that their sister-in-law promised them that I would give them my baby since they've been suffering from infertility for years. I told them that I had no intentions of giving up my baby and to never come near me again. I also told them that I don't even know their sister-in-law, but they kept insisting that I did. And that's when it finally clicked. Karen. So the next night, she was on the same shift as me, and she comes charging up to my desk, screaming at me, asking me how I could treat her brother and sister-in-law like garbage after she tried helping me with my mistake. She then said that I don't deserve a baby for being such a horrible person. That's when I called security. She ended up getting let go, and her brother and sister-in-law are banned from coming near me or contacting me at work. I'm only 8 months pregnant, but I'm scared that these crazy entitled people will try to find me when I do deliver and demand my baby. My boyfriend says that it's just hormones and they can't steal our baby, but I'm terrified. So yeah, it doesn't sound like that couple would actually have intentions of stealing OP's baby. Like, I think Karen just really made them believe that OP was seriously considering giving up her newborn for adoption. And I do feel bad for them. Like, Karen was probably like, oh yeah, my coworker really wants to meet you. She says to go to her work at this time, to meet her, and she might consider giving her baby to you. But crazy, right? You're not married, so it must have been an accident, so just give away your baby. Some freaking people, I tell ya. And while we're on the topic of people in hospitals, listen to this one, guys. So for some background, a couple of years ago, I worked as the admin for a dialysis clinic. Now, it wasn't located in the best of areas, so we had many interesting patients. It's also important to note that we're a mid-sized clinic, and we had about 50 patients per day. We had the clinic manager, 4 nurses, and 10 patient care technicians. For each shift, there's always 2 registered nurses and about 5 patient care technicians on duty. Our patients were more often than not in very bad health, and often they were elderly. This also made our patients fall risks. And this is a story of one of our more unforgettable patients. She was extremely entitled, and she felt that everything revolved around her. She also felt that our lobby should be rearranged to please her. We'll just call her Miss M. So as stated, I was the admin of the clinic. So I basically sat at the front desk in an enclosed office space with plexiglass window between me and the patients. So one afternoon, Miss M comes in, and of course, she walks right up to my window. I had the customer service smile on, and I greet her. The next thing I know, she starts leaning to the right, and she goes down hard. I ran out of my office, yelling to the nurses that we had an emergency fall. Within 90 seconds, one of the female nurses and at least 3 patient care technicians, 1 female and 2 guys, were at her side. I also grabbed the clinic manager and brought her over, where we got Miss M up and we began evaluating any possible injuries. Just a couple of weeks after this, one of our nurses was helping Miss M get up from her dialysis chair and use her walker to reach the scale. While she was on the scale, a patient care technician calls out that an elderly male patient had fallen. The nurse weighing Miss M quickly grabbed a nearby chair and asked her to sit so he could go help the patient who fell. Well, Miss M was not having it. She began shouting and she says, "Oh no you don't, you're helping me, we're not done yet." The nurse tells her, "Someone's fallen, I have to go make sure they're okay." To which she says, "No, you're helping me right now, they have to wait. You're finishing with me first." The nurse tells her, "I have to go help, you just have a seat, I'll be back in just a minute." She then grabs his arm and says, "I said no. You help me first. He can lay there for all I care. You're working with me first. You were helping me first, so you're gonna finish me first." Of course, the nurse keeps protesting and says, "Miss M, I at least need to get him off the floor. He's still on the floor." She then says, "There's someone over there with him. You're helping me." He then asked, "Why are you doing this? You fell a couple of weeks ago and people rushed to help you, so why don't you want us to help him?" She then says, "Because I'm not going to wait." The nurse then tells her that they can't lift him alone. They need help. And that's when she says, "When I fell, none of the men came and picked me up, so screw him, they can struggle." So at that point, the nurse just finished with her because it was faster and easier. The man who fell actually passed away between 1 or 2 weeks after the incident. He didn't die due to anything involving the fall, he was just unwell, hence the fall. He was a really great guy too, and I miss him. So yeah, props to anyone working in a hospital, guys, because I can't imagine the amount of entitled patients they have to deal with on a regular basis. And it's always sad to hear stories like this where people genuinely don't give a damn about anybody else except for themselves. Like, I've read a few stories where people have literally told doctors to help them first. And who cares if that 6-year-old is like dying? So yeah, some people just suck. Alright, so I feel like this is the most ridiculous thing that's ever happened to me. Last night, my wife, best friend, and his wife met up for dinner at a local bar that's known for having fabulous seafood. Typically, once every month or two, we 4 get together for a cruise. We take the hour drive out to the bar or a similar place for a good meal. With these trips, we typically drive our own vehicles and enjoy a nice scenic drive. We all own and have restored various cars from 1960s and the 70s. And for gearheads reading this, I have a 63 Ford Galaxie 500. My wife has a 1967 Chevy Impala 4-door, the supernatural clone. My buddy has a 73 Chevy Chevelle, and his wife a 69 Dodge Charger RT. We parked together in a row within the business parking lot, off to the side of the lot before heading in for dinner. We spent about 30 minutes at the bar waiting on a table, which is no big deal. However, when we finally received our table, my wife realizes that she left her glasses in the car, needing them for the menu, so I run to the car. While sitting in the driver's seat of my wife's car, digging around for glasses, I hear a very enthusiastic, "Hi," and I look up to see a young woman, in her early 20s with a big smile on her face. Being used to owning the supernatural car, I just smile a bit, and I said hi back. Immediately, this girl launches into this super cute and nerdy rant, saying how much she loves the show Supernatural and she's never seen one of the cars in person. I start politely chatting with the woman as I pop the hood and let her look it over, letting her know that we don't keep a hunting kit in the trunk though. The conversation wasn't flirty at all, the woman was just really enjoying the car. I'd explained that it was my wife's car and pointed to mine next to it. And that's when the girl asked for a photo with the car, which is of course no problem. So as I'm taking the photo, I hear a guy yelling, "What the F, Emily?" and see him marching up with his chest puffed out. As I hand the girl's phone back to her, the guy jumps in my face and he starts outright screaming at me that it's his girl I'm talking to, and who the F do I think I am trying to steal her? The girl tries to explain to him that it's the car from the show Supernatural, but her boyfriend just screams at her saying, "Shut up and go sit in the effing truck." Now, I'm not taking too kindly to how he spoke to this nice girl. I finally interjected, and quite loudly if I'm honest. I start yelling at him, poking him in the chest saying, "Emily just liked my wife's car and I was showing it to her. Not that it's any of your effing business." I then tell him that she should just leave his loser ass and never look back, how she wasn't anyone's property, etc. As I'm telling this kid this, he shoves me, staggering and bouncing me off the car. As I recollected myself and adjusted my clothing from the shove, you could see the legally carried pistol in my pants. Thankfully, this immediately made the guy turn tail and leave, and his girlfriend did follow. I've been thinking about this all day, and it was the main topic of our meal last night. Ladies, don't accept this from any man. You deserve so much more than to be some small man's property. Ain't that the frickin' truth, guys? And I agree with OP about her needing to leave the guy. And sadly, he probably gave her so much crap for wanting to take pictures with the car and for talking to the guy, which is ridiculous. Like, talk about mega insecurity issues. The guy's totally nutso. And that, my friends, brings us to another end of our entitled people. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the stories today. I hope you didn't shake your heads too hard, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'll link it right here. It's all about smug bosses getting their businesses destroyed by employees. Go check it out if you haven't, and myself and Stevie Boy will see you guys in the next one. We love you.